All right, let's just jump right in. If you feel like your ability to concentrate has been completely shattered by notifications, endless scrolling, and just everything, you're definitely not alone. So today, we're going to walk through a real practical guide on how to get your focus back in a world that feels like it's designed to steal it. I want you to really let this sink in. Your brain has been hijacked by apps that were literally designed to break your attention into a million tiny pieces.
Wow. Yeah, that feels painfully true.
It really is, isn't it? And, the most important thing to get straight from the get-go is this. Your struggle to focus, it is not a personal failure. It's a completely normal response to the insane environment we're all living in right now. So let's name the enemies, right? You've got notification addiction, where every little buzz or ping gives your brain a tiny chemical hit that makes actual focused work feel dull by comparison. Then there's the constant task switching. We think we're multitasking, but we're really just wrecking our ability to think deeply. And it's all happening at once. We're overloaded with information, conditioned to want everything instantly, and just plain exhausted from making 1,000 tiny decisions every day.
So, it's not just me being lazy?
No, not at all. That is the key. Your scattered attention is a perfectly normal response to an environment that is actively hostile to your focus. This isn't a character flaw. It's a skill, like a muscle, that's gotten weak and just needs to be rebuilt.
And that's exactly why so much of the standard advice out there just doesn't cut it. You've probably heard it all before, tried some of it, and then felt like a failure when it didn't stick. But here's the thing. It was probably the advice that was broken, not you. Let's look at this disconnect, because it's huge. They say just eliminate distractions. Okay, great advice for someone living in a cabin in 1985. But our reality is that distractions are everywhere all the time. They say use more willpower. But willpower is like a battery that runs out, and these apps are engineered by geniuses to drain that battery as fast as possible. And my favorite, just meditate for 20 minutes. That can feel like being asked to climb Mount Everest when you can barely sit still for 2 minutes. Okay, so if the old advice is broken, what actually works? Right, so instead of just trying to force it with willpower, we need a better set of tools. And the great news is, these tools already exist. They're just kind of hidden inside some of the best books written on this exact topic.
So, step 1. The very first thing you have to do is not to try harder, but to actually understand what you're up against. You've got to know your enemy, so to speak. There are 2 books here that are absolute game changers. Cal Newport's Digital Minimalism basically proves that this isn't about your lack of willpower, it's about an industry built on engineered addiction. Then you've got The Shallows by Nicholas Carr, which explains how the internet is literally, physically rewiring our brains to prefer short, fast bursts of info over deep thought. Just understanding that is so incredibly freeing. Okay, so once you see the full picture, the second step is to start actively building your capacity for deep, sustained concentration. Think of it like going to the gym, but for your brain.
And again, we've got some amazing guides. Deep Work, also by Cal Newport, gives you a whole system for making this kind of intense focus a regular part of your life. And Chris Bailey's Hyperfocus is brilliant because it shows you that our attention really has 2 powerful modes, that laser beam hyperfocus for getting things done and a more creative, wandering scatter focus for coming up with new ideas. It's about learning to use both.
And now for the final piece of the toolkit. Honestly, this might be the most powerful one of all. It's about making focus automatic. You want to design your life so that focusing is the easy choice, not a constant uphill battle.
And for that, we turn to the master, James Clear and Atomic Habits. The core idea is simple but revolutionary. Focus becomes effortless when it's built into your environment and your daily systems, instead of relying on motivation, which, as we all know, is totally unreliable.
That's a lot of incredible information. So how do we actually combine all of this into a plan that doesn't feel overwhelming?
We can break it down into a simple 90-day journey. Think of it this way. Month 1 is all about detox and awareness. You're learning about the problem and just noticing, without judgment, where your attention is actually going. Month 2 is for development. This is where you start doing the reps and actively building that focus muscle. And then month 3 is all about customization and automation, taking what you've learned and building a sustainable system that actually fits your life.
Okay, that sounds really doable, but what's something I can start doing like this week?
Perfect question. Let's make it super simple. Here are 5 steps to start immediately.
First, and this is crucial, pick just one of those books we talked about, just one. Then, track where your attention goes for 3 days. Next, pick one single technique from that book to try, just one. Practice it every day for a week, and then see how it felt. The whole key here is to start ridiculously small.
But what about those days where my focus is just totally gone? Like, I need an emergency fix right now.
Yep, we need a first aid kit for that. Think of this as your emergency circuit breaker. Step 1, turn off all notifications on all your devices for 2 hours, no exceptions. Step 2, if you can, physically move to a place without internet. Step 3, set a timer for 25 minutes and work on one and only one task. When that timer rings, you take a 5-minute walk. It's a simple reset that works almost every time.
So look, if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Your scattered attention is not a personal failing. It is a rebuildable skill. The real question isn't whether you can get your focus back, but what amazing things you're going to do when you do.
If you love this content and found it helpful, please share it with someone who might need it. And of course, make sure you click like on this and subscribe to our channel for more explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for tuning in.